There's a level of guitar playing where you're not a beginner anymore, but somehow you're still invisible. You can play, you've learned some things, you sound decent, but nobody remembers you're playing. It doesn't hit, it doesn't stand out, it just kind of exists. And that's what I like to call the almost good trap, where you're good enough to feel comfortable, but not pushed enough to actually grow as a guitar player. So what do? You play what you already know at a level you've already mastered because it feels good, but that comfort is actually what's keeping you stuck. Because the thing that actually makes you better is the one thing that most players avoid. It's called the frustration barrier. This is the moment where things stop feeling as smooth as they normally do, and you start making mistakes, and then your brain goes, yeah, let's not do this. Most players will hit this point and immediately back off. And every time you do that, you stay exactly where you are. Let me show you what this looks like on guitar. I'm gonna give you an example of a super simple lick in the key of A minor, okay? This lick right here. Okay, let me teach it to you note for note real quick before I demonstrate, okay? So we're starting on the 5th fret of the B string with the 1st finger, and then 6th fret with the 2nd finger. 4th finger reaches over to the 8th fret. And then we play the 5th fret on the high E string with the 1st finger, and then we walk it back, right? It's on the 8th fret with the 4th finger on the B string, and then 6th fret with the 2nd finger, and then 1st finger on the 5th fret. If it helps, like think of the melody. Right? A little bit different, right? Not our typical garden variety pentatonic kind of thing, right? But this is definitely a great frustration barrier lick, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's say this is where most people live with this lick. Right? Nothing wrong with it, but nothing's really changing either. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start pushing past that and playing it a little bit faster and a little less comfortable. Okay, let's go even faster. Even faster. See right there, starting to get sloppy, right? And if I keep looping it, right, just to try and clean it up, it's not great, right? So I would say for me personally, right there is right around where my personal frustration barrier is with that lick. And right at that point, that's where you find mistakes, tension, uncertainty, right? Especially tension. Like when I start to speed up that lick, I can really feel the tension building up my forearm. And I don't like that because I really like to encourage my forearm to be as relaxed as possible, which I know is easier said than done. And believe me, it's still a work in progress, right? But once I start to notice that I'm pushing past my limits, if I were to listen to my body, right, it really comes in the form of tension. So if I start feeling that tension, that's how I know I'm getting close to that barrier. See, what happens is when most players reach that critical moment, that's where they stop, and then they go back to what feels easy, right? They go back to, which again, isn't bad, and I'm not trying to preach to you that playing it faster somehow makes it better, right? But again, this is about pushing our limits, getting out of that almost good trap, being able to excel in our skill set, right? Because here's the thing, it's not all about playing fast, but if you're a player and you can play fast, that is a net positive, right? That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong or holding you back by being able to play faster, right? And playing faster generally requires a heightened skill. So don't worry so much about the whole speed versus slow debate when it comes to guitar. Believe me, I'm a big believer in both. I think they both have a place and they're both great. But let's say you're someone who prefers slower playing or advocates for slower playing. That's okay. You can use this to exercise. You don't have to use it in your playing, but to reach a point where your skill level and your knowledge goes way up. Because here's the thing, when we're in the moment, especially with improvising, right, and we're playing guitar, we're not really operating with the best of our knowledge. We're kind of operating with, like, I would say at half-mast, right? But think of it this way, the more that you know, the better you are. When you reach that point of being at half-mast, right, when you're in the heat of the moment, you're gonna have a lot more to work with than if, let's say, the height of your knowledge is down here, right? So just think of it that way. By the way, if you're getting value out of this lesson, do me a favor, hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. With that, let's get right back to it. So if you reach your frustration barrier and you stay there, right? And you work through it, Even to the point where your hand just physically can't do it anymore, right? You have pushed past a limit that you otherwise have not explored, and you may not even have known it was there. And here's where the magic is. When you really live in that frustration barrier for a little bit, right? And you put some practice into that. So if we were to say that your comfort zone is right here and your frustration barrier is right here, okay? And what you did was you moved past your comfort zone and just started hammering that frustration barrier. What ends up happening is you move the goalpost of said frustration barrier and your comfort zone now shifts. So what happens, you can think of it like this. You kind of split the difference, and now your comfort zone has reached a point where you can play faster than where you were in your previous comfort zone, but you wouldn't have gotten there had you not hammered that frustration barrier for a little bit. So if we went from playing it like this and then just spent a while just going, just like really, really pushing through it, now we can do something like this. So we can do it kind of like in the middle as far as speed, and it still sounds clean and it's played as confidently and with as much like relaxation, let's say, as the previous comfort zone, right? Right? And then that's how it goes. You just keep moving that goalpost with that frustration barrier. And it doesn't matter what it is you're playing. It doesn't have to be a lick like that. It can be with chords. It can be with anything that you learn on guitar. Really any skill you can apply this way. I'm talking any skill outside of guitar included, right? If you find that you reach a point where you're really good at something, or you're really good at this certain level that you're at, but you find that you're not improving, it's because you're staying in your comfort zone and you're completely avoiding this region where the frustration barrier is. So if you just like bravely move out of that, go head first into the frustration barrier, I mean, I'm talking just like a few minutes a day just doing that, right? What that's gonna do is it's gonna make your comfort zone shift, and you're not even gonna realize it's happening. But when you actually attempt to play a little faster than your previous comfort zone, you're gonna be like, huh, that's cleaner than I thought it would be. And that right there is where progress lives. That progress, that improvement, only came from staying in that uncomfortable zone. So don't look at the frustration barrier as the problem. Look at it as a doorway to actual progress. And if you're not hitting frustration, you're not actually improving. So next time you practice on your guitar, find the point where it starts to break down, right? The tension, the uncertainty, and the sloppiness starts to kick in. And then stay there for a little bit. Don't escape it, work it. That's where your playing actually changes, and that's where you stop blending in and start standing out as a player, slowly but surely. Now we messed around a little bit in the key of A minor today, but if you want a system that actually shows you exactly how to work in every single key, major or minor, and yes, even the weird keys, and without getting stuck or overwhelmed, then you're gonna love what I got for you right here. This is a free lesson on how to instantly solo in any key. It'll guide you step by step on how to find every key on your fretboard in record time and how to comfortably solo in those keys without ever getting lost. And it is 100% yours, 100% free. Just be sure to click here to claim your free copy, or check the link that I left for you in the description box. Or if you're watching this on TV, scan that QR code with your phone. Because the guitar players who get noticed aren't the ones who avoid frustration. They're the ones who learned how to use it.